Good evening, saints, strangers, peculiar people, and those listening from the cornfields outside Grantsville who refuse to admit they are corn. This is Deseret Radio, broadcasting live from the supply closet of the abandoned Chevron on Highway 36, now legally recognized as an independent broadcast zone by exactly 0 earthly governments, but tentatively approved by several celestial committees whose names have been redacted for your safety and mine. Before we begin tonight's broadcast, a brief update on the bones of our transmission tower. As listeners will recall, our tower, grown tall and proud in the desert night, sprouted legs 3 months ago, walked into the salt flats, and lay down to die. We recovered its remains shortly before our last broadcast. Well, the tower bones have changed. Where once they merely hummed the bass line of "Come, come, ye saints," they have now begun harmonizing with themselves perfectly. At sunrise this morning, they arranged themselves into a small cairn, as though marking a trail none of us can see. At sunset, they rearranged into a different pattern entirely, one resembling the outlines of an old adobe settlement that has not existed in 2 centuries. Brother Chase assures me the bones are just settling in. Brother Chase is an optimist. For now, they rest outside the Chevron door, glowing faintly, vibrating softly, humming more loudly when Utah inches closer. If you place your ear to them, you will hear static, a distant choir, or, if the desert trusts you, a name you have not yet earned. Listeners, our tower may be dead, but it is not done. Now on to tonight's broadcast. Listeners, the border moved another 12 feet last night. Witnesses described seeing a faint glowing line sliding across the desert floor, like someone dragging a neon highlighter across a sacrament program. It moved politely. It moved efficiently. It apologized when it hit a rock. A wave of warm corporate air drifted over the valley. Reports indicate the following accompanying signs: a faint smell of sports deodorant, the sound of a TED Talk beginning without your consent, a billboard materializing that read, "You deserve efficiency," and 2 missionaries in white shirts briefly speaking in corporate jargon. Their voices returned after a priesthood blessing. The chrome buildings, formerly 1, then 4, now number 9. 1 is partially transparent, but the transparency is pixelated, as if buffering. If you walk too close, it whispers, "Welcome to Utah's Innovation Hub, where your data is our calling card." Its voice smells like peppermint gum and ambition. Brother Marcus, the man who traded his middle name, has now been observed mowing his lawn at double speed, as if time slipped sideways for him. He refuses to blink. His wife says he seems nice, but her voice trembles between syllables. Meanwhile, Sister Patience continues her strange transformation. At last night's fireside, she delivered a flawless 46-minute talk entirely in bullet points. Now, for this week's community events. Monday, the bishopric invites all members to a special combined meeting. The topic, what to do when the border moves into your ward boundaries. Refreshments provided. The refreshments will ask for your email. Tuesday, the young women will hold an activity where they will craft Utah-proof charms from sagebrush, family names, and 2 tablespoons of sincere discomfort. Wednesday, the high priests will be studying Zion's camp. Again. When asked why, Brother Hilton only said, "We're preparing for something." He then stared directly at the setting sun until someone gently placed a hat over his face. Thursday, the 3 Nephites will not be attending the ward potluck. The rumors are true. They've relocated temporarily to Wendover to handle something. No further details were given, but one of them was overheard muttering, "Not again," which is never comforting. Friday, the Relief Society will host a workshop titled "How to Resist Niceness-Based Spiritual Attacks." Handouts will be available on cardstock heavy enough to stop a low-level demon. Now, traffic. Traffic on Main Street is at a standstill after a semi transporting 48 tons of Family Search microfilm overturned, releasing thousands of tiny reels onto the road. Elder genealogists have formed a protective circle around the spill. On the border, traffic has stalled due to a chrome pop-up kiosk offering free trials of being better. Do not approach it. Trials are never actually free. Tonight's weather is 72 degrees and repentant. The sky is partly puzzled. Wind is coming from the east and carrying faint strains of a choir singing, "We are the world." But every voice is the same voice. Listeners, tonight's folklore comes from deep within the archives of the Deseret Intelligence Agency, from a file labeled simply, "Do not open until the trumpet sounds." Brother Chase opened it anyway. Did you know that beneath every Costco in the Mountain West, yes, every Costco, there is a sealed vault maintained jointly by a former bishop, a night shift forklift operator, and one extremely territorial seagull named Thurston? Inside the vault is said to be the original primary program seating chart, a stack of unused missionary tags engraved with names that haven't been born yet, and a single glowing tithing envelope that cannot be filled, cannot be emptied, and hums softly. Accessing the vault is simple. Go to Costco at 5:03 a.m., the unholy hour when samples don't exist. Stand near the rotisserie chicken display. Whisper your great-great-grandmother's maiden name into the steam. If she approves, a trapdoor will open beneath your feet. But be warned, if your genealogy is incorrect, the trapdoor still opens. But nobody knows where to. Visitors who return report seeing a stone tablet explaining why Costco hot dogs are still $1.50. The explanation is long. The explanation is binding. Tonight's broadcast is, again, sponsored by Liahona brand compass rings, now featuring a new setting called Anti-Utah Mode. Side effects include compulsively humming pioneer hymns, spontaneous manifestations of seagulls, being physically incapable of saying no worries if not, a mild metallic taste, and a strong desire to till soil. Ask your bishop if Liahona brand is right for you. If he says, "Let's circle back," that is not your bishop. Run. Listeners, our researchers at the Deseret Intelligence Agency have been studying a strange Utah-based ritual known only as football. Not church ball, where injuries are guaranteed, but points are optional. No, this is a different thing. A strange thing. According to our preliminary findings, football is a ceremonial contest in which two tribes of large, armored men attempt to gain dominion over a sacred object called the ball. The ball is elongated, leathery, and whispering. Only elders quorum presidents can hear the whispering. They will not share what it says. We've also confirmed rumors of a creature known as the Sportsbro. Field notes on the Sportsbro: height, 5 feet 8 inches to 6 feet 4 inches, depending on protein intake. Habitat: Utah County, commercial gyms, maverick parking lots, and sometimes the foyer during second hour. Diet: pre-workout powder, gas station beef jerky, and vibes. Calls: "Let's go!" Sheesh. And bro, it's bulking season every season. Mating display: wearing a backward hat to testimony meeting. Weaknesses: long scripture verses, complicated feelings, and the word accountability. Sports bros worship football. Football worships no one. Except, possibly, the Chrome Man. Witnesses report that during last Saturday's BYU game, a bright chrome shimmer briefly appeared above the stadium, and several sports bros exclaimed, "Bro, that's sick." When asked what part was sick, they replied, "All of it, bro. All of it." Listeners, we do not fully understand football nor the sports bro, but we do know this. If someone invites you to come watch the game, do not go. Football lasts 4 hours, sometimes longer, and you may be asked to bring snacks. You may never come back. Stay safe, say your prayers, and do not attempt to fist bump a Sportsbro unless you are confident in your integrity. Listeners, the ward choir director wishes to announce that rehearsal will begin promptly at 7 p.m. and end sometime after the second coming. Attendance is mandatory for anyone who has ever said, "I'm not a singer," but anyone who has ever avoided eye contact during a hymn, and anyone whose calling hasn't started yet. The tenors will rehearse in the Relief Society room. The altos will rehearse in the Young Women room. The sopranos will rehearse directly under the skylight, which will open when it is time the basses are asked to simply show up and do their best. Listeners, something has happened at the Great Salt Lake. At 2:14 a.m. last night, the lake rose 2 inches, then fell 3 inches, then whispered something unintelligible. Fishermen near the shore heard only one clear syllable: leave. Moments later, a chrome drone, bearing the emblem of the Utah Department of Enhanced Friendliness, hovered over the water. The lake struck it down with a single wave. Brother Jorgensen claims the lake is remembering something important, something old. Listeners, we just received an update from the ward building. The line for Temple Recommend interviews is currently stretching around the cultural hall, past the drinking fountain, and into a field that definitely wasn't there yesterday. Please note, if the person in front of you has a third elbow, let them go first. If the bishop begins speaking in a panicked whisper, that means the AC turned off again. If the door to his office glows softly, it is your turn. If the bishop asks whether you sustain the prophet and you hear your own voice respond before you speak, don't worry. That is normal. That is expected. Either way, sustain. Elders Quorum reports that 3 more members have misplaced their middle names for brief moments, only moments, before they snap back into place. This suggests Utah's influence reaching beyond voluntary trade. If your middle name feels loose, tingly, or tempted by convenience, please contact the Deseret Intelligence Agency immediately. They have chapstick. Brothers and sisters, a message from a new sponsor. Are you feeling overwhelmed? Ministering list a little? Ambitious? Do you crave efficiency, optimization, and a life free of those pesky human interactions? Introducing the Ministering Automation Service, the first celestial tech platform designed to streamline your discipleship experience. Here's how it enhances your ministering calling. Our patented AI angels perform automated drop-ins at each assigned home. Each visit includes a randomly selected spiritual thought, delivered with 92% warmth and 8% productivity mandate. Furniture may be subtly rearranged to promote higher spiritual throughput. And of course, a casserole is left behind. A perfect casserole. A casserole without shadow. Side effects include a sudden swelling of self-satisfaction and a compulsive desire to wear nicer polos. Ask your Elders Quorum president if Ministering Automation Service is right for you. Wait, where did this ad come from? Listeners, this isn't one of our sponsors. This is Utah Tech. This is Niceness Infrastructure. This whole automation service sounds like something the Chrome Man would whisper through a smart speaker at 3 a.m. Deseret does not automate ministering. Deseret ministers with hands, hearts, and sometimes casseroles that contain sorrow and purpose, not algorithmic cheese. Please disregard this ad. If an AI angel knocks on your door, do not let it in. Do not eat its casserole, and do not sign up for the premium profit package, no matter how glowingly it is reviewed on Utah's internet. We apologize for the breach. We are tightening the filters. The desert keeps its own schedule. Utah keeps trying to sink it. Stay vigilant. And now a message from our intern Chase.
whisper from the mountainside, say you knew this path before you had a spine. I've been chasing little glimpses of the blueprint, the one we sketched in a velvet night, where the spirits hummed in ultraviolet, tracing futures under cola light. And I still feel that pull, soft as a covenant breeze, like someone's calling roll in the land before memory. I'm just walking out the bright traces of a promise older than the sun. Every footstep feels familiar, like I've already begun. If the veil keeps bending sideways, let it blur just enough. I'll keep walking out the bright traces till the symbols all line up. Saw the Wasatch glow like a lifted hand, as if the mountains bless the morning air. There's a law in the way the light moves, quiet, ancient everywhere. Some folks talk like the world is breaking. I just think it's trying to turn the page. When the gathering wine picks up again, even sagebrush starts acting safe. Yeah, I still feel that pull, soft as a covenant breeze, like someone's calling roll in the land before memory. I'm just walking out the bright traces of a promise older than the sun. Every footstep feels familiar, like I've already begun. If the veil keeps bending sideways, let it blur just enough. I'll keep walking out the bright traces till the symbols all line up. Maybe we're all just pilgrims, trying to read the sky, looking for the old landmarks from when we first learned to fly. And maybe that pull in my chest is just the echo of a prayer, the one I spoke in a world of light before I ever got here. So I'll follow every bright trace, every soft-spoken sign, till the road falls in the morning and the plan becomes mine.
Listeners, Deseret still stands. The desert breathes, the sky watches, the chrome buildings shimmer but do not understand us, yet. Hold your middle name close. Speak softly to the sand. Know that niceness is not the same as kindness. Know that convenience is not the same as salvation. And know that Deseret Radio will remain on the air until the desert tells us otherwise. Good night, saints. Good night, strangers. Good night to the border, which is listening. Good night from Deseret Radio.